Icahn picked the perfect time to talk up Apple. The stock was already on the verge of a big breakout, and as it tests 500 right now, chart watchers see brighter times ahead. Tomi Kilgore joins MoneyBeat. So Tomi, you had this post that just went shortly up on the blog talking about how chart watchers are getting a little bit more optimistic about Apple, and now Carl Icahn coming in, that only helps matters, right?
Yeah, I mean, the timing was a little, seemed like a little bit too much for a coincidence. The stock had already opened up above a big, long 6-month trading range. It was above the 200-day moving average for the first time since November.
That's a key technical level that a lot of people point to as a direction for which way the stock is going to move next.
And, you know, the most important thing is that it has been making higher highs and higher lows. So it was just ready to break out. And then this news comes out, and obviously the big move and the big volume on it, you know, if it was in a downtrend, it might not have been such a big move. But as it happened right when people were starting to decide whether or not they wanted to come in, it was the perfect time to get the stock to get going.
Perfect time. And as you see a chart there, the stock's up a little more than 1% right now at 497. It did get as high as 499, almost hit 500, I believe. So the 500 number, I mean, it's something that the media loves. You can write it in a headline. Does it have any sort of significance besides being a big round number?
Well, just before the stock really fell apart, it was starting to bounce around above the 500 level. Maybe not exactly 500, but you know, right above it, around 505, 525 area. There was a lot of congestion up there. So that tends, you know, technicians believe that support on the way down will eventually become resistance back on the way up. So there could be some strong resistance above the 500 level, but you know, some technicians are starting to see it. This is going to just keep going. You know, it might stall here for a little while, but you know, the fact that we've broken out of this big bottoming range, it took 6 months to build, that there's a lot of energy generated.
Right, so you talk about that because back in September we were talking about Apple above 700 and it could only go one way, only go higher. Then it reversed and had its big downdraft, and then, as you mentioned, now this 6-month period, it's been quite a long time where it's just sort of hovered around 400, 450, and hasn't really done much. So this is the first time that we're actually seeing a significant move in Apple.
Right, and it's tried it tried hard a few times to get below 400. It couldn't hold there, and now technically we're in a bull market again. We're above more than 20% off its lows.
Wow, a new Apple bull.
Yeah, it's really starting to, you know, and with it, you know, one technical indicator isn't enough, but when you start to get a convergence of all these things and people start to, you know, feel, then you get a big investor saying it's undervalued, and things are starting to look up maybe a little bit. People forgot about Apple for a little while. You know, I stopped writing about it. It wasn't moving. It just wasn't moving. But now we have something interesting to talk about again.
All right, Apple's interesting once again. Tomi Kilgore, thank you very much.